Hey, what's up, guys? This is Bro Rizvi, and welcome to another episode of the Nomadic Millionaire Show. And we got a crazy one today because I don't know if you guys may have heard, but this one coin has been pretty much going astronomical. Nobody expected this, and literally it's just hit prices of more than triple of Bitcoin. So we're at, I think it broke $32,000. I just recently checked. We're in the 30s. Now that's absolutely crazy for any coin to be at where Bitcoin is, let alone 4x of what Bitcoin is. It nearly got to 4x of Bitcoin. So who knows? I mean, a lot of people are actually saying that this coin is still undervalued and that's actually cheap. Now, that's to be taken with a grain of salt. Depends on how much you know about it and where you see this thing going. But it's just kind of a sign of the times with these DeFi projects absolutely exploding right now. I mean, I think the market cap hit like $8 billion and it continues to go higher. So yeah, guys, make sure you stick around. You won't want to miss this. Yeah, guys, so like I said, the coin that I'm talking about is Yearn.finance, Yearn. So ticker symbol YFI. Literally, it's just sitting at $32,000. Last time I checked, it's absolutely insane. I mean, I thought it was way overpriced and it was overdue. It was due for a correction when I saw it at $11,000, and now to see it go up like 200% from like in a day is just mind blowing. It kind of gives you pause to what's going on. I mean, are we in a bubble? Is this a sign of a bubble? I think it kind of is, unfortunately. I think this is definitely, when people are becoming whales overnight from a coin that's, I get the fundamentals behind it. There's only 30,000 YFI tokens available, kind of like Bitcoin has a hard cap. So, that's what's making this token so rare. But now the question comes into play as to whether there's are people actually using this token? Is there an actual use case, or is it actually worthless and it's just been a run up and everyone that got in early has been really lucky and it should probably get out? So in my opinion, the fact is that this coin has had a bit of a help with all this DeFi hype, right? So with 30,000 coins in existence and the price going so high, I mentioned this in my other videos that look out for copycats, because there's always copycats when one coin does something particularly well or goes to the moon. There's usually other copycat tokens that try to do the same, and that's exactly what happened. There's a coin called YFII, as in Yearn 2. That's basically doubled overnight. It went from $1,128 to now $3,800 literally overnight, and there's a bunch of other ones that have actually doubled and tripled as well. So it's kind of crazy to see this happening. I predicted it, but I didn't think it was going to happen this soon. All these copycats of Yearn. I think I made that video maybe a week ago, and to see this already happening, there's like 4 or 5 copycats. Who knows? Maybe there will be more, because it doesn't seem to show any signs of slowing down right now. But you got to make sure you take advantage of this and don't get left holding bags that are worthless. That's why I always say, make sure the projects you invest in, if it's not for like a short-term gain, make sure you do proper research and see that it has a long-term potential. Now, these lending coins and projects are not going away. You have Aave, AAVE, you have Lend, Compound. I mean, these companies are here to stay. This is the new way of finance and the new way lending is going to be done. I just have a lot more trust in those companies like Compound because they seem to be, there's a lot of use by them. A lot of people are using Compound to lend out their crypto. They have billions of dollars in loans right now. So I'm pretty bullish on those companies. Now, I don't know enough about Yearn to say go out and buy it and that it's going to hit $1 million. Who knows what it's going to hit? But at least according to one crypto fund person, they claim to say that it's still undervalued, which is saying a lot if you're calling something undervalued at $32,000, which has only been around a very, very short amount of time, right? So It's kind of crazy to see that, and I think it's the fastest project to reach $1 billion in valuation out of all the cryptos out there. So we're just talking about mere less than a year, right? Maybe a year at most, but this project has not been around very long. So it'll be really interesting to see where things go from here. The other thing that I did want to mention is that YFI is you got a whole bunch of new whales, so I think we're going to start seeing a lot more projects potentially being started by these whales to kind of mimic what has occurred now, to get those maximum returns while all this is still possible. And it's kind of the wild west right now with DeFi, and so that's why it's so important to stay on top of the coins. Make sure you like and subscribe to my videos, because I always post about the newest projects that I think you guys should be taking a closer look at. And on top of that, make sure you guys hit that notification bell, because that's how you even if you subscribe, you might not get an alert. That's why you need to hit that notification bell, so you guys get alerted as soon as a new video pops out, and you'll be on top of it. So for now, my recommendation right now is to kind of look at what else is out there, what else is trying to do what Yearn has done, because almost certainly there's going to be another copycat that tries to do the same thing and tries to get these insane returns with this thing hitting nearly 40,000. It just sounds surreal. I don't think I ever expected to be talking about a coin other than Bitcoin hitting nearly $40,000. So that just goes to show you how crazy DeFi space is. Yeah, guys, I think lending is here to stay. I think there's other projects that are going to come out that are going to have this type of potential, and so I think you guys should really take a look at what you guys should be looking at for the future in terms of coins to invest in. And yeah, guys, I'm just out here enjoying this beautiful weather. We've had a really sunny day out here in Thailand, and the sun is now setting. We've had some really amazing sunsets the last few days. It's been really cool to be out here and to be living on the beach, and to be able to witness that on a daily basis is really truly special. And I think this is something that I feel like the world is really changing. We're in a really interesting time of change with crypto, and the markets and the regular markets have hit all-time highs, and people are wondering, how long is this going to last? S&P 500 just broke records in the midst of a pandemic. Like nothing makes sense, right? Nothing makes sense. How is this happening? We have the unemployment rate, which has been up, and then it came back down, and now I don't know where we're exactly at, but I think the economic situation for the average person is not great still. People are still relying on stimuluses. There might be another stimulus check that goes out. The election is coming up, so that's going to be interesting to see what plays out with the election. There's a lot of turmoil happening still in the U.S. More protests are happening. So there's a lot of uncertainty. And what's interesting is that, while in the short term we might have a market correction in the S&P 500, which will lead to a correction in the crypto space as well, which is usually what happens. It's very interlinked, even though you might think it's the other way around. But even though there's a correction, long-term, 10, 20 years down the line, because of all this inflation, because of printing all this money, because of not being tied to a gold standard or any kind of standard, just literally printing money, people are going to start seeing that their money, whatever they're earning, is being devalued at such an incredible rate that they need to be putting their value in a store that doesn't just inflate like the U.S. dollar. So I think more and more people are starting to wake up to the reality of crypto, to the reality of Bitcoin, and more people are starting to realize how the banking system is broken, and how it's insane that, in my opinion, that you can get a loan to go to college at age 17, 18 for $200,000 in the US, but you can't get a business loan for $20,000. They'll ask for everything, your name, your parents' grandnames, your great-grandparents' names, their bank accounts, their statements, and you still wouldn't get a business loan. But for a college degree, for a loan for school, $200,000 at age 18, it's not a problem at all. Here you go. Here you are, Sally. Here you are, John. Here's your $200,000 loan. And now the fact that there's no jobs, AI is taking over, and that there's literally a pandemic that's wiped out a lot of jobs Work from home is becoming big, but still companies are downsizing because they can't afford the salaries that they used to be able to afford. They can't afford the staffing size they used to be able to afford. And so those jobs aren't there. And all those people that spent $200,000 to get any type of major, I don't care if it was a philosophy major or an economics major, one might be better in this scenario than the other for sure, but you still have a lot of people out of work that have tons of student loans. And I foresee this like really changing the way loans are done. And I think that's why DeFi will come into play, because it'll just make contracts and make giving loans that make sense become such, a more automated, a more technical, a more algorithmic process where people aren't getting loans where the system, the technology doesn't believe that you'll be able to pay it back. I believe AI will do a better job of knowing whether or not a person could pay a loan back, whether that loan makes sense for them. And to be able to do it decentralized, that means that you're not going to be relying on a central point of failure, and you're gonna have something where you don't need to provide all this data, your bank accounts, your ID, your everything like that. You don't need to, because everything can be collateralized and based on trust. So I think that's the huge advantage that we have right now of the system that is coming forth. Of course, right now it's kind of the wild, wild west. A lot of people are taking advantage of it with the fast rise in prices. But, this is just how everything starts, like usually, when the stock market first came together, I'm sure there were people making a killing. And now we're in the same type of scenario where people are in this highly innovative, highly fast changing environment. And, there's always going to be opportunities. There's always going to be things that are legit, things that are not so legit. I think eventually we'll get some type of regulation, but with everything being decentralized, I think that makes it a lot harder for things to get shut down, at least this time around. I know that happened with ICOs, but I think that it's possible that this time things might last a little bit longer. So we'll see, guys. I mean, it absolutely sounds insane, like the stuff that's going on right now, to see that a coin is at 40,000, nearly 40,000. We'll see. Some people say it might even go to 100,000 this year, which would be absolutely crazy if that happens. Whoever got into Yearn is going to be really, really happy. That talk about paying off your college loans, I'm sure that'll probably do it, at least get you some way if you got at least one Yearn. So yeah, guys, I think for now, make sure you take a look at what other coins are doing well in the lending space. I think with Yearn, look at what other coins might be popping up. I'm gonna do a video about that in my next video. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button, and I'm gonna start looking at possible investments that are gonna copy, because if you can get a 20x on something like Yearn, I think you can do much better with a copycat. Copycats usually tend to do even better because people know what it's about. It's about pumping and getting out at the right time. So not necessarily saying that's the most moral, ethical way to do it, but that's kind of the scenario right now. So I think you just have to keep that in mind and take advantage of that opportunity. So yeah, guys, make sure you like this video, share it with anyone you think might be into crypto. I'm going to continue to do videos on altcoins and DeFi projects that I think are pretty amazing. There's this incredible sunset coming down right here. I'm going to take some time to enjoy it. But yeah, guys, I love talking to you guys. I love your comments, so make sure you leave a comment below. And let me know what projects you guys are looking into. Do you feel like YFI is going to keep going further? Do you think we're going to hit 40, 50K, 100K? Or do you think this whole thing is a bubble and that it's about to crash soon? So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for joining the Nomadic Millionaire Show, guys. See you guys on the next one. Peace.